Welcome everybody to this episode where I headed down to the Peak District for a solo wild camp. It was done about 5 or 6 weeks ago, back end of June 2025. Unfortunately, the footage from the day before I've managed to lose somehow, and so it's not included in this footage, so my apologies. So we're looking at the morning after now. So you'll get to see me make myself a brew, have a quick snack, and then head off down the hill back to the car. So I'll talk a little bit about the pack that I'd used and a little bit about the experience that I'd had that particular camp. So as usual, if you've got any feedback, comments or questions, please fire them into the comments bar below. And as usual, thanks for your support, thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here again soon. Just double check, make sure I haven't left any others. Yeah, so there we go. Leaves no trace. There's quite a bit of cloud coming in. It's not forecast to rain, so I'm hoping to be back at the car within an hour. 20 past 7 now. So interestingly, obviously as you'll know, I've only started using the Durston a bit more recently, having only used it once last year. So I brought it out again last night. I bought some Dyneema guy lines, some extra guy lines for it, and guyed out the sides, because you don't really get enough guy line with it when you buy. So yeah, I got some extra ones. They weren't expensive, might have been about maybe 7 or 8 quid for 2 with the line locks built in. Last night got quite breezy, a bit gusty actually, but interestingly, as soon as I got those side guy lines out, which I didn't think I made that much difference, no noise, just no tent flappage. So yeah, it's been a pretty good camp. I only got about 5.5 hours sleep, something like that, but I don't feel too bad, to be honest. I did have a face like a half-cooked frame bentos pie first thing when I woke up this morning, but yeah, that's not unusual anyway. Right, I'm on my way to the car. Should take me about 45 minutes, an hour, and then I'll be heading back to Leeds. I won't be going for a 3 roos breakfast this morning. Look at Ladybell this morning, beautiful. So yeah, there's been a bit of cloudage coming, more like a haze really. This is what we're looking at. Sun's trying to get through. It was bright first thing this morning, so it woke me up about 5:15, and I just laid there for a bit contemplating my decisions. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning. It's just nice and fresh, because yesterday I have to say I underestimated the heat. It got up to, I would say, 30 odd degrees here yesterday. Yeah, it was a bit much. Yeah, as I was saying, the heat yesterday was quite unbearable really. It was 29 degrees when I left the car, so, and it definitely got way hotter on the way up, because it was still, and I'd put it at 31, 32 degrees easily, and it was just still, so I had to stop and have a bit of a rest for half an hour, 40 minutes, rehydrate, you know, even more. I brought 3.25 litres of fluid with me, and I've used all but a few hundred millilitres of that. Got another litre in the car when I get back to the car. And I did think about bringing the 4.25 litres, but I ditched a kilo, and the pack was heavy anyway. Obviously it's like 3 kilos lighter this morning, and I can tell straight away it's a lot more comfortable to carry. I think this pack limit for comfort, certainly with me anyway, with my aging body, it's good up to about 15, I think. And once you start going above that, you're pushing its limits in terms of comfort. Certainly for me, like I say. I'm using the Swedish Army LK35 pack this morning, well, from yesterday, and it's a great pack. I bought it originally for bushcrafting because it's really strong. you can modify it and do all sorts with it. It's got a steel tubular frame in it, and then the pack fastens to that, a little bit like the US Alice pack system. Never used it, but it's quite similar. But these packs were commissioned to be made by the Swedish government commissioned Haglofs to make them. Around about 1998 were the first ones that they started making, and they made them up to around 2001. Haglof's been a high quality Swedish brand, I'm sure you're aware. They've always made good packs and good gear. It is a good pack, and I have well camped with it before a few times. As a summer camp with lighter gear, like tarp and bivvy, and not carried as much gear. But obviously I've brought a few extra comforts with me this time, as in the chair, which weighs just under 1 kilo as the chair, but they were them rubber ball feet, they're a couple 100 grams, so you're looking at over 1 kilo for all of that. I think what else I brought that I didn't really need to bring. I brought a slightly heavier table than I normally bring. I normally bring an ultralight table that weighs about 30 grams. And I brought, it's a metal table it's a Soto without the Soto branding on it, because they're all made in the same factory, and then Soto put their own branding on this particular table, and that's about 400 grams. But the water was the thing that did it. So I'm starting to think that I need to be doing more camps where there's a water source, but anyway, yeah, so that's the LK35. Great pack, but it's got its limitations for me comfort wise. The Osprey one that I have, that Osprey Aether 70, and I've had that for quite a few years now, maybe 8 or 9 years maybe. Really, that's the best pack I've ever had for adjustability, comfort, everything else. Now I could try and modify, sorry, it's a bit gnarly here where I am. I could look to try and modify this even further with a chest strap. You can get them that clip onto the shoulder straps, pull it together a little bit. That would probably take a little bit of strain off where I can feel my shoulders now. Try to drop the weight onto my hips, but the belt only adjusts so much, so you can't get it tight enough around the hips for you to then drop the weight onto the hips, because you can adjust this on the fly. You have to take it off to adjust, but yeah, that's the only thing. So it's just little niggly things that you only notice, don't you, when you're carrying a heavy load and it starts to give you niggles and stuff. But if you've got any ideas, let me know. Particularly you guys that are ex-military, that'll, you know, you might have modified your own packs and stuff in the past, and you'll have carried fucking way heavier loads than what I'm carrying for miles. So yeah, let me know.